opulent, flamboyant, and most certainly surreal. In the heart of the Amazon, this is a festival unlike any other. For 3 days and 3 nights, Parintins is divided into 2 teams. Dressed in red, Garantido. Dressed in blue, Capriccioso. The competition between the two isn't sporting or ideological, it's more operatic. Their once-a-year challenge is who can best retell an indigenous fable about a resurrected ox. First night, and for 2.5 hours, Garantido is on stage. Its supporters are also being judged for the enthusiasm they show. Meanwhile, the blue team, Capriccioso, watches patiently. They can't boo, they can't jeer. Instead, they show indifference. And then it's their turn. The roles are reversed. On one side, euphoria. On the other, a studied lack of enthusiasm. This goes on for over 6 hours, for 3 nights. It all takes place in this stadium, a gladiatorial setting purpose-built for the event, with seats for 35,000, around a third of the city's population.
And what's so interesting about this rivalry is it's not just a show put on for a few days of the festival. All year, this is a city divided between its red side and its blue side.
Take the road signs. Everywhere in Brazil, road signs are blue, and they also are in Capriccioso's blue side of town. But over in the Garantido half, Brazil's transport ministry has allowed an exception. The signs are red. In fact, most things here are red. This isn't a joke. Iriam Butel is one of the town's historians.
Por exemplo, você não entra de azul num espaço vermelho, você não entra de vermelho num espaço azul. Você tem que ter cuidado com o que se fala de ou de outro, principalmente em território contrário.
You always know which side of the city you are. This is the Garantido headquarters.
Coloca esse aqui, ó, esse aqui, ó.
Adelson Albuquerque is the group's president and one of the most powerful men in the city.
Nós participamos de uma eleição onde tem 4.500 sócios na associação, que é da associação Boi-Bumba Garantido, e nisso nós fizemos uma disputa entre alguns concorrentes, que nós éramos na época 5 candidatos, nós fomos vencedores, e é uma posição muito importante dentro do município.
As president of the red team, does he ever wear something blue?
Não. Ser presidente de uma entidade e jamais colocar a roupa do boi contrário, ou a cor do boi contrário, não pode. Nós temos que ter um respeito muito grande, até mesmo membros, itens oficiais, pessoas que brincam, existe uma divisão muito clara disso aí.
So profound are those divisions that relationships between a Capricciosa and Garantido are extremely rare. It does happen, but couples like Luis and Michelle are the exception that proves the rule. When Michelle fell in love with Luis, she says it was awkward telling her family.
Bem mais complicado, porque minha família é toda Garantida. A dele é toda Capricciosa. Somente genros e noras que são o contrário, né? Então minha mãe brigava muito comigo. Minha filha, mas esse rapaz, como? Calma que a gente vai tentar balancear. Vai ter que dar tudo certo, né? E deu. São mais de 15 anos, graças a Deus, nós conseguimos controlar, mas não é fácil.
Com certeza. Acima de tudo, né? A gente procura viver bem, Mas chega na época do boi não tem jeito, as confusões elas aparecem normalmente, então ela vai para o lado dela, eu vou para o meu lado e depois quando acaba a apresentação a gente volta a se encontrar de novo.
So what brought about this strange turn of events where the people in this city have a passionate, colour-coded loyalty to something without a perceptible ideology? Maybe the geography and the history of Parintins is part of the answer. This is an island in the Amazon, accessible only by air or boat. Until relatively recently, travellers would have spent days getting here from the coast. And it was up this river that a tradition from the northeast of Brazil came, brought by thousands of workers seeking employment in the rubber industry. It was a dance celebrating a sacred ox. The story had its origins in Afro-Brazilian culture. As more immigrants arrived here, many had differing versions of the fable. There were once dozens of groups recounting the ancient story, but by the 1950s just 2 bands survived. In this isolated spot, a standoff formed. Supporters of Caprichosa and Garantido had become more like gangs.
Eles não têm essa conscientização.
Moises remembers those days with perhaps more than a hint of nostalgia.
O boi de lá de cima, ele só chegava até perto da catedral, não passava para cá. E o daqui só chegava até lá. Quando passava, aí é porrada, é cacete, faca, bala. Agora não, é civilizado. Aqui é onde é o colégio Nossa Senhora do Carmo, aí era o campo de futebol. Quando, por pirraça, por raiva, o pessoal do Garantido vinha para invadir aqui. E aí se topava. É cacete, faca, bala, aqui perto logo.
With the threat of gang battles hanging over the city, a solution seems to have been found by this man. Father Augusto, an Italian priest posted to Parintins, came up with the idea of turning the parades into an organised cultural festival. Differences, he ordained, should be fought out on the stage, not on the streets. The priest may not have been entirely approving of what's since evolved. This is now a multi-million-dollar spectacle broadcast live across Brazil. Being one of the lead dancers is the city's greatest honour.
Então é uma responsabilidade enorme estar representando todas essas moças belas que são genuinamente parintinenses, que essa beleza é genuinamente daqui, do Amazonas. Não tem nada igual.
Some do worry that all this is a bit much.
Dialogando sim com as modernidades, com as coisas, mas se nós perdermos, como posso dizer, a nossa base mesmo, aquilo que nos dá referência enquanto toada, enquanto ritmo, enquanto ser cultural.
The technical scale of the show, remember this is the heart of the Amazon, is extraordinary. Parintins has now gained a reputation across Brazil as the place where the very best of these 3D contraptions are designed. Some of the experts that work here have been hired by the world-famous Rio Carnival. When the show is over, everything is put away until next year. Doesn't mean that this artistic competition is also put to rest. Rehearsals take place almost every day of the year. This is the Garantido group going through their steps. Night or day, you don't have to look far to see people dancing here. There is an intense spirit of competition in a confined space.
A questão de sermos uma ilha, ela é bem complexa mesmo. A gente pensa que o mundo todo é a nossa ilha. Gera uma espécie de competição contínua e sem descanso. Essa disputa tão séria, eu penso que se dê exatamente dessa dualidade. Nós temos duas forças somente, que anularam outras forças, né? Então, daí a gente entender a grandiosidade desse imaginário, né?
Both Capriccioso and Garantido have their own songs. Even at a private birthday party like this one, if you're Capriccioso, you wear blue and you sing the right tune. The unending competition between the two sides of this city is very much part of daily life here. For most of the year it's a quietly accepted eccentricity, but then for 3 days in June that changes. The deep, mysterious rivalry becomes the driving force of an extraordinary artistic display that no one who's ever seen will ever forget.